All right, welcome everyone. Resemblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
rezero, Season 3, Episode 16, the season finale. So this is where Reinhardt just goes clap, 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 clap. I think.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
I mean, either way, I'd love to catch back up with Subaru and Amelia. I'd love to see how they're doing with things, all wrapped up on their end. Get a little bit of some kind of conclusion to this arc if we can somehow wrap it up. I mean, clearly, Beatrice and Otto have no issue handling...
No issue whatsoever.
Gluttony.
And as if Otto didn't need any other reason to be best boy, if he is also one of the people that helps bring Rem back. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
So we don't know actually, like, what would happen if Gluttony was defeated, killed, or what have you.
Right. But we can hope.
Yeah, we can hope. We can believe. But all right, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. So anyways, I started blasting.
Yeah. Now return to dust.
Ugh. All right, defend Beatrice. Oh, take
all
these
right,
guys. Oh. Whoa. Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a lot. Yes, it is. No opening. We've got a lot of anime to do.
That's right. I love it.
Oh!
Fantastic. Yeah, just to get the openings.
Oh. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, but
not eating.
Didn't devour him, yeah.
Jeez. That's such a cool effect to like...
Yeah, they're just gone.
Whoa. So double spell here.
Oh! You've been using a lot of crystals. All right!
Reinforcements, baby!
All right!
Oh. But that's not her real name.
Oh, I love it.
Right, that's not her real name.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Is that the counter? He just tried to eat someone that... Oh! My fire and my laser. Blah.
Goodbye.
Hey, gotcha, bitch. Boom. Good thing we got everybody underground, right? So I think everything in that direction just like ceased.
All right. Yeah, that would make Reinhardt actually get hurt. Yeah. Oh, shit. Not dead, though.
What? What?
The other one?
Oh!
What the fuck?
Oh, God, yeah, there's two. Why aren't there like 4
Yeah.
or 5 or 7? Yeah.
That's a problem.
Gotcha.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
This got a little bit scary for you, didn't it? Oh. Alright, so Gluttony's getting away with this.
Oh.
Yeah! We won! Meanwhile... Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Hey!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Oh,
スバルの足があるのはベティの献身のおかげなのよ。
yeah.
抱っこが足りないかしら。
Keep hugging. Don't stop.
Yeah.
全員
So then who called out on the...
欠員なし。うちらの勝ちや。
Who called out on the thing, though? Yeah. Yeah, it's nothing. Boom! Ow!
ベアトリスちゃんの言う通り、怪我人らしくしてほしいですね。
The true enemy lies within you.
しばらく歩くのに難儀して
Yeah! Yeah!
ちゃんと治るそうですよ。
Gar's already walking away!
残念ながら暴食は取り逃がしました。
Yeah.
こちら様が滞在司教の一人を捕らえたんです。
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Wrath.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
女の形で私の愛しいベテルギウスに近いよ。この状況で噛みつけるなんて随分余裕だね。
Fun. We can do some interrogation.
お望み通り俺が話し相手だ。先に言っとくが助けは来ないぞ。お仲間連中は全員やる。
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's over.
本当に可愛い人ですね。あなたは。
So creepy.
敵は何なんだ。
他の連中の考えなんて知りたくもありま
Ah,
せんが。
Yeah, you didn't really
Shit.
play well with others.
Yeah.
取ったのは福音書の指示ですよ。私が愛しているのはあなただけ。あなた一人だけなんです。人の魔女なんて私。
This is the worst person to have to talk to here.
Yeah.
他の奴らは
Yeah, what were they doing then?
的に何が望みなんだ。
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't pay attention in the meetings. Yeah. No.
Bonk!
Fantastic.
ペテルギウスはあなたの中
Ugh.
魂と魂が溶け合い、肉と
Cool.
あの人の目覚めを一番そばで見ただけ。
Sorry, but I'm just not that into you.
Yeah. You don't know how to receive my love. I will teach you. Yeah.
一つだけ忠告を。
Okay.
暴食に気をつけて。美食家も悪食も暴食さえもあなたを奪おうとするでしょう。
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
なんで釣れねえな。起きるの手伝ってやったじゃねえか、ベアコ。
ベティがその呼び方を許すのはスバルだけかしら。
Okay. All right.
Bro.
No, I think, yeah, there we go. It's Subaru somehow.
ジョーちゃんも無事でよかったな。
Yeah.
I think they're actually going to confirm it this episode.
キリタカの魔晶石。どうやってこれを。
わからないかしら。そして、
Hmm.
それは聞くなと当人に言われているのよ。
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
あるは悪い人じゃないと思うの。ただ大弱りだった魔晶石も見つけてくれて、ね。ググかしら。
やれやれ。エミリアタンに。
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, man.
文土の口から暴食や色欲のことを聞き出せるなんて、そんな都合のいいこと。
Yeah, I don't think so.
僕もフンドの処刑には反対。
Whoa.
クリス
Yeah.
マのことはもちろんですが、王国にとっても魔女教師
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yep.
大祭司教なら護送するのだって楽じゃない。
その役目は
Yeah, I will do it then.
Yeah.
Yes.
満員ハルトが行くなら私も行く。
Nice.
無事にオートまで引っ張ってってやれよ。
Yeah, I have perfect faith in their capacity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
あとはハエの人らとナナシの人ら。特に色欲の被害。
Yeah.
ああいう生き物に作り変えられてしまってるの。
Damn.
しき虫けらに姿を変えられた者どもは死を望んでおるじゃろうよ。
A lot of them probably do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
クリシラ、それは。
黙れボング。口先だけの理想論など何の価値もない。待って。
Jeez.
その問題。私
I could freeze them. Yeah.
Okay.
でもそのための方法を探す時間なら作れると。
Yeah, I could freeze them.
氷の中で眠らせて。
Yeah.
そうかコールドスリープ
心配ご無用エミリア様は失敗などされませんなぜなら歴史に名を残す偉人とはこういった試練を乗り越
You have said your lines. Well done.
Yeah, but that wasn't an answer.
え歌目のさえずりに免
Warbling.
慈悲は預けてやろう任せて必ずうまくやる
And at worst, we just end up killing them, which is what we were thinking we might have to do anyways.
Yeah. We won. The city's destroyed. Mm-hmm. Right, we have all the ladies, from
Yep.
Regulus's like cage just free. Just a massive, massive.
Gigantic thing of ice.
She might have to come by like every month or 3 or
Sure.
something to refreeze it, but something that big.
Yeah.
Just the destruction from the
Right.
gate of the water opening up. Yeah.
ねえスバル
What?
あそこを見て
ルースベルとティーナ
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
街もこんなになっちまったしあの二人の無事だけを喜ぶってのは不謹慎かもしれないけど
Right. Yeah. A lot of people did die.
だってスバルとそれ
Uh-huh. You worked hard. You didn't cheat things. You didn't value your life so little that you ended up. Yeah.
Yeah.
そういやユリウスはいるじゃねえか
He's kind of. Yeah. That was a rough fight.
スバル君は私のことが
Wait.
どうしたのスバル
Wait.
取り込み中
もうユリウスが変なんだ
Whoa. He got hit by it, but Subaru knows.
スバルの知り合いの人
Oh my gosh. That's
Hang on,
cool.
though.
Subaru still,
Yeah.
still remembered him. Whoa. That's cool. Okay.
All right.
Finale is a nice,
Yep.
calming, relaxing. Everybody's okay.
Yep.
Not complete and total victory here because Gluttony did get away. There are quite a few gluttonies in
Right.
terms of things here.
3.
And maybe even 4 because of the way that Wrath specifically gave them almost titles of their types of eating, like gourmand, foul eater.
But Wrath only mentioned 3.
Oh, Wrath only mentioned 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But yes, the victory for the city is here.
Yep.
The main loss out of all this is that Julius has been erased.
Right. But he's still moving and talking and all that, which
Yes.
is
he
good.
knows who he is.
Right. It's just no one else recognizes him. And
Right.
that's interesting because then that means we've got a different kind of devouring depending on what gluttony you're dealing with.
Right.
And so the one that got Rem, okay, that's the one that puts them to sleep in a stasis, etc. But
Right. They don't exist, therefore maybe there's nothing for them to, draw upon or what have you. Like their
Right.
soul is within that gluttony, basically.
right.
But yeah, we did get a little bit of a hint of gluttony's ability or what have you. Yeah. Beware of gluttony. Gourmand, foul feeding, and satiation.
Right.
So those 3 are the types of abilities, basically.
And so
yeah, they will all attempt to take you away. So whichever one is either foul feeding or satiation, I would say.
right, I believe satiation was because I think Bathan Kaitos referenced Roy as being foul feeding, and then the new one would then be satiation.
Right. Yeah.
But okay, good to
But-
know.
Yeah, so Julius is basically just a lone person with no identity
That's
elsewhere in the world.
rough.
But Subaru, probably because of what his connection is to the witches or to the gospels or the authority or what have you is able to
Right.
maintain an
Yep.
understanding of who Julius is.
In the same way that he still remembers Rem, but no one else does, and
Right.
that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. And all things considered, no one remembering you except for Subaru, but then Subaru being able to vouch for you, and you're able to still move around, and so
Yeah.
Subaru can fill you back in. That's actually, like, it's bad, but it's not a total disaster. Like,
Right. The part that probably is the most painful is just to see Julius go up to his lord, or to Anastasia basically, and her to be like, and who are you?
Yeah.
All those years of effort serving somebody as a knight
oh yeah,
wasted basically
the
because
connection's gone.
the connection's
Yeah.
gone between them. Now, Subaru can tell them that.
Right,
And
that
that
it's
this is
like-
a similar situation to Rem, which is going to probably
Yep.
make things okay.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's not going to have the same emotional impact for Julius, and given that he's a character that we've been following since
Season
very
1.
early on in the story,
Yeah. That's rough.
that sucks.
rough.
And I just love then the Subaru saying the name so that he remembers Subaru.
Uh-huh.
You know who I am. So it's
Right.
not that he knows necessarily though what his name is. This is the part that could be kind of fun. Is that
huh?
if Julius knows Subaru, there's a
Uh-huh.
possibility that it's the like, oh, I know who you are, but do you know who I am? There's a way that it could be interpreted of like,
But Subaru went up to him and was like, "Hey, Julius, what are you doing?
right.
gloomy and stuff,
But it could be the equivalent of, oh, you know my name. That's good. You're somebody that knows my name. But another way to interpret it, this is not necessarily what it
Okay.
is, but is that someone just called me by a name. Like you're looking at me and you're like,
Oh, that Julius potentially didn't even know who he was.
who he is. Yeah.
Gotcha. I think
I don't think it's that necessarily.
I don't
I'm
think
just
it's
putting that out there as another perspective.
right,
because
because the pain of loss. If you don't remember who you are, then it's just, that might be kind of weird, right? But there wouldn't be like that deep, pain of like
Yeah.
I know exactly what
have
I've
you
lost,
ever
right?
encountered somebody with amnesia?
I have not.
Okay, so I have, and
Okay.
The pain when they were recounting the stories of people having like walked through the process basically of helping them remember who they were, like was like incredible. Like the oh, you know who I am. Like
Oh, yeah.
there's a like good, you know who I am. You like
Yeah, the catharsis and hope and overwhelming joy and also pain that
Right.
Subaru remembers him, even though no one else does.
Right, so there was
yeah.
Yeah, so there was a part of me that was thinking of this of like, oh, cool, this could be not just oh, you no longer exist, but you still remember it, which doesn't really make sense if you think about it. Like, why Subaru remembers it all feels
Is
like it has to be
weird
something.
magic stuff.
It's weird magic stuff with regards to the witch connection or the Archbishop connection that he has. Whatever. All we know is that Subaru knows this, but the idea that Julius would be able to know this is kind of an assumption that we're making. So that's why I'm presenting the alternate look of it.
Right.
If you were someone that just had your existence removed, it would be like a form of amnesia for you as well, of like,
Right.
oh, my identity doesn't exist. So if someone comes to you, and if everybody's just ignoring you, just is like, looks at you and just walks away, and then you think about yourself for a second, you go, wait.
And there is an element of where, because this is a different form of devouring from what we got with previous characters, it seems inherently less bad because
Yes.
the person is still able to move and live. So
Having there
There
be
is
some other kind of
some
cost.
other way in which it's actually worse. I am definitely up for that happening, and kind of like that's something.
but again,
we
it
can
could
keep
also
our
just
eyes
be
out
the
for.
much simpler option of,
Yeah.
you're just the only person that recognizes me.
Right. This is why Batan Kaitos does his gourmand thing of really getting to know them or whatever, because if it's something that's more just quick and dirty or whatever, then you get most of it, right? But,
Right.
But there's some stuff that's left, like their ability to move around and stuff. But we got we got Wrath captured.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Great win. I love Wrath as a character being the wild card of the Archbishops. Even to bring the connection back to Betelgeuse, basically, that, he was the other wild card for the Archbishops, and that he was tasked with going to deal with Roswell and the manor and everything there, and it's like, oh, he failed, basically. Cool. So that's an issue there. But he was really unhinged. So the idea that Wrath here very much also felt like another form of that
group.
Didn't fit in the group or what have you, but being someone that we can capture and still get some info in, then giving Subaru I actually think we're gonna get some info out of her. Like, I wouldn't kill her here, because he might not have registered it to the viewers, us, that that was really helpful, the stuff that she just gave about Gluttony.
Sure.
But that was info that we got, and even if Subaru is gonna take a few days to figure and process it out.
Well, and just the fact that she mentioned 3 names, like, she has no way of thinking that the third one would have shown up. Right? Like, because that wasn't how it was originally.
Yeah.
So that's, from Wrath's perspective, she gave them new information about Gluttony. Given that means that those are probably the only Gluttonies, and so now we know, fantastic, there's just 3, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we can have a decent amount of confidence about that. Wonderful.
Yeah. Also, gourmand, foul-feeding, and satiation. Because satiation meaning...
Being full.
Full.
Right.
Is kind of a fun aspect of this, because foul feeding in my mind thinks of like scavenging.
Sure.
Like grabbing the bits of trash. But all 3 have to do with the totality of eating. Gourmand is like, I have eaten everything there is to eat. I love the act of eating.
Right. I specifically am enjoying the food itself.
Right.
Right.
Yes. But there's also an element of like being a master of the food and having like expertise in a wide palette. Yes. Foul feeding meaning like I don't leave anything behind. I get all the scraps. At least that's my interpretation of that.
I like that as an interpretation. The vibe that I got, I think yours is better, was the idea of the person who's just scarfing food down. Right? Which kind of goes into the scavenger thing, but the idea of like they're not necessarily doing it for the joy of it. They are doing it for this is how I survive, and that's where maybe it's tied to the scavenger.
So that's actually where I feel like satiation is then it's the full thing of I eat until I am full, like, and I must in some ways probably forever eat because I will constantly be coming closer and closer to satiation. Because if they're actually full...
Right, that's actually one of those things where satiation as a name feels kind of antithetical to gluttony.
Well, it could be.
Because gluttony isn't eating, it's the overabundance, the eating past satiation, right?
Right.
And so...
Right, satiation could be balance then.
Right.
Which feels off. So that's why I think it's more I desire satiation. Like I am the epitome of
there's
going towards that, but
there's an emptiness that can be filled, kind of a thing. Yeah,
maybe. But either way, having these 3 to then tie to the actual names of the gluttony personas is really fun because they're very different people.
Yes.
They dress differently, they act differently, they channel different people because the different gluttonies have eaten different people and thus have different effects, which means that we could have progress within defeating individual gluttonies to potentially help or some kind of freeing of other people.
Yeah, and there's
at least if they're still alive.
And the immediate thing that my mind goes to is what happens if the gluttonies eat each other.
Ooh.
Because they have a bunch of memories and people that they've consumed and all that stuff.
Sure.
Well, wouldn't they then be the most delectable feast, But
maybe, but then it's do they actually intentionally avoid each other?
Right,
specifically for that reason.
Right, that was one of the things where I was thinking maybe that's why the 2 were always in different locations, because it's hey, let's not tempt each other, right? Like we got a good thing going. We both understand that food is awesome.
Sure, but also what they could do is specifically because they eat for different reasons, the types of food that they eat is different.
Hey, don't come over here. This is my dinner table.
Well, none of this is my dinner table, but foul feeder.
Yeah, right. We fundamentally disagree on how this works.
Gross shit. And then there's like Gourmand, who maybe all of them would love to eat, but Gourmand is the one that's most aware of that and so avoids them specifically.
Right.
Now, they did refer to each other a couple times in like semi-fond ways, but I'm interested to see how they end up delving into that later. But okay.
Most of the Sin Archbishops basically just left. They turned tail and ran.
Yeah, Lust and Gluttony are gone. Greed's just dead.
Yep.
Super dead, which is cool because he seemed to be the most powerful of them. Wrath being captured.
Could potentially be funky and dangerous, but also could be a big help if at some point, like, Wrath is invested in Subaru surviving. And so naturally then, gives the warning about Gluttony, because Gluttony would be the way that Subaru would be just gone, right? But theoretically, if you have some situation where it's like, hey, Wrath, Subaru's actually in trouble right now. Your beloved, right? Like, if Wrath ends up being the way that we get the can work with under questionable circumstances yandere, right? Like ally. I'm down. Like that. Like Wrath was always a ton of fun to have on screen, and also so completely fundamentally didn't seem like they worked well or played well with the other archbishops that it's I mean, if
I also just wanted to bring up just the vibe that a lot of the archbishops have a bastardization of love as their primary guiding light. But in a lot of ways, Wrath's was the one that felt like, it's so weird to say, but it felt like
the most accurate,
the closest to it. But it was a masquerade. It was a mask. It was not. It's not real. But it was.
It's still not saying much, given that we're talking about the archbishops. But did seem the most. Yeah.
Well, right, but also having the desire for a relationship with another Sin Archbishop in Betelgeuse.
Oh, sure.
Just feels also like that might have been actually genuine. Like that was it was
right. If you removed
fucked up,
if you removed all the wrath from the equation, it'd be fine.
Right. It was just the thing of maybe y'all were actually destined for each other in a lot of ways, and that you're both pretty broken and we're constantly seeking love. But Guse was so focused on the witch, and then she was so focused on him. There was no hope. It's just
if there even was a relationship, and it wasn't just why won't he notice me?
Yes.
And
I definitely
wrath.
I definitely feel like it was that. But it was the kind of thing that I wanted to see explored.
Yes.
If Wrath was to survive this fight in this arc.
And it's also just another through line to the whole, what is Subaru? What's the deal? Is he becoming a new archbishop and all that stuff?
Well, not only has he potentially already become some form of that, because in some ways, mechanically, he is.
Right.
But he already was before he beat Betelgeuse in some ways because of what Satala did in some ways.
So he has to collect the 7 Dragon Balls, archbishops.
Well, okay, but this is not that kind of story.
Definitely not. That was tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, no, I get you. But I mean, in terms of what he's doing, though, he is doing the protagonist route of who are you making allies? And by making certain people allies or by gaining certain things, it has narrative consequence down the line with other enemies who will either have no interest in you.
Sure.
Or by doing this, have completely different approaches to you.
Yeah.
And I just love that Wrath's is so complete in that.
Yeah.
That she is not a threat to Subaru in the slightest bit. In terms of his physical safety. She has no desire to kill him. She has no desire to,
Which is funny, given that she started the season by killing him.
Oh, right.
But
now we've come so completely around in that regard that, her character must have some larger importance in not just the obvious world stuff, but in the... If we think of this as the best timeline, because Subaru has done so well with everything that he's gotten everybody to work with him, and he's now kind of the hero of this story.
Sure.
Like, he really is, and everybody knows it and remembers it in a lot of ways.
And we need to talk about, the thing that was soft confirmed this episode.
They doubled down on it.
Yeah, they really are like
can we
it's the equivalent of in Hoodwinked when the bunny's like, yeah, and then maybe we can all work for that little guy, you know? Like, this is when you're supposed to figure it out.
Right. To not go so in depth into another story here, but the way Al was out there just waiting and said, see, nothing to gain from that at all. All it did was make you feel gross, right? Like, he knows what Subaru's feeling.
Oh, yeah.
What?
And even to the point of like, all right, I'll show up with a magic crystal item or thing, that heals you. I mean, you were looking for earlier. Yeah. And then calling Beatrice Byaku, like,
yeah,
Subaru's the only one who does that.
Yeah, and then Subaru, don't go getting too friendly with them. Almost like,
yeah,
Byaku
I've done that and it didn't work.
Kind of almost acknowledges a little bit in some ways the like, I don't like your vibes. I really don't like. I can see underneath your mask. Maybe she doesn't know who this is exactly.
Right.
But she's like, no.
I've lived long enough to know that.
Yeah, you're full of shit in a lot of ways here.
Yeah.
So then wait, didn't I help you wake up, Byaku? And it's like, no, only Subaru gets to call me that. And it's like, And then he yada yada.
Oh, good grief. Yeah. Like, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm glad you're doing good too.
Right. Like, they're really laying it on. Yeah.
And it's kind of this thing of where like, hey, but everything's good. We did.
So we don't have to worry about it.
So let's just move on.
It all turned out well.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like, again, he chose to be there. At this point. Then when the meeting's here, couldn't be bothered.
Right. Yeah. And the way that like he's like almost always having something to say to Subaru as like a bit of advice or something, which I totally get, even without the whole, him being Subaru, if that's what's going on, right? Because that's probably what's going on.
Yeah.
Just as I have also been isekai'd, my brother, right?
Right.
There's plenty of reason for that.
Plenty of reason, yeah.
But like, they really did a good job of bringing it up in an entertaining way that builds the mystery, with him talking about him having died before with lust, and then having this at the end of the season where it's like, okay. Yeah. I think next season it's going to get confirmed.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, Julius. Yeah, Julius with this like.
Yeah.
Right. So he like. Oh wait, that's actually a good point. So he's sitting there looking away.
Oh, also, yeah, Julius being deleted makes so much more sense now why Dog Boy is like, I'm lucky I only got out with losing, a hand. Because, I mean, that guy was so strong, I would have needed, like, a knight to help me.
Yeah, exactly. But then you're right there. Come on, don't worry me like that. Not assuming that it's him. Hey, you jerk. What are you doing just wandering around when we're all so busy here? He turns before he said his name. So he's like hoping you might know me. But when he says Julius, he doesn't like respond like, "Oh, thank goodness you."
Well, no, but I think
my name.
But I think that's also in we don't even like we get a bead of sweat for
Oh, totally. I'm just bringing up the point that he turned before his name was said.
Yeah. But yeah, fun stuff. That's a great way to like have a little stinger at the end, while at the same time not feeling like it takes away from the victory that we had.
Yeah.
But
I just love the like Subaru getting it and like Amelia just being like,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
She's just trying to be polite, like, I don't know who this is.
Right. Yeah.
And just it happening again.
A friend
like,
of Subaru's. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah. Man, but how far we've come, right? The person that originally you're like, I hate that smug bastard, right? Now you're like, holy shit, no one remembers my best friend, you know?
I mean, in a lot of ways, he was the person that kind of gave Subaru the necessary wake-up call.
Yes.
Back then.
The kick in the pants or the wooden sword to the face repeatedly.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, okay.
All right.
Season 3
Yep.
ending here.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very fun. I'm excited for season 4. Given that these seasons do take a while to come out because White Fox as a studio is just wholly dedicated to being like, we are the ReZero studio.
And we will do it right.
And
yeah.
we'll do it right and do. I mean, we got season 2 the way it was, but in this season, getting all the crazy animation,
Yes.
getting the more like broken up structure for a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, for something this big, I think that was helpful.
I think that was helpful, and that just makes us have a much faster turnaround than the 4-year wait or whatever it was, a 4.5-year wait for season 2.
But if Al Subaru show, you gotta. That's the fact that
That's some
that is the
endgame
case.
stuff
That's
right there.
that's some wild shit, you know. So giving the explanation for that,
Well,
that's gonna be crazy.
the part that I'm most potentially thinking of is that we're in a world right now of like something of Subaru's making, basically. And like you're saying, this is already some kind of rewind thing, and someone's like doing something.
Right, but not the
over again.
traditional return by death because it is a different.
Right. Again, this is an aspect of Satila's power, and we don't know what Satila's power is.
Like
necessarily.
who's to say that you couldn't, like, if you can pull someone from another universe, why couldn't
Yeah.
you pull someone to a different point in time?
or just pull
that's
someone
what
from a
Return by Death
different
is.
universe too. This could just be a Subaru that's just
right. It doesn't have to be like a different world. It could just be like, this is the you from
This
20
is
years
you
in
with
the
the
future
Priscilla
in
route.
AU.
This is just a video game, and you really just simped hard for Priscilla at that one point when you were gonna suck her toes or whatever it was.
Right. And she ended up being into that instead. You know,
Right,
or
right,
whatever.
exactly.
And, yeah, right.
Actually, now I really want to go back to that scene, because was Al sitting there watching at that point? Like, was he there?
Maybe he was one who was like, don't do that, man. Have more self-respect.
No, because it was Priscilla
it was
specifically
Priscilla.
that was just like, you are pathetic. You have no loyalty. You have nothing. Yeah.
But that.
Yeah, now I want to go back to some of the earlier
I'm
Al
just
season
imagining
1
Al
stuff.
just has sweat drop by his helmet, and he's just like, bro. Man, I
Even
really
if
used
it's
to
not
be like
Subaru, the bro response is literally like, bruh. No, man. But okay. Y'all.
stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You got an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all of this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So if you have any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.